ça galope, ça s'accorde, ça shot, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, Eastern, Western, ça galope, ça put it up, East Block, West Block, A Block, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, ça shot, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, Eastern, Western, ça galope, ça put it up, East Block, West Block, A Block, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde.
Hello, I'm Mathieu from Ludovox.fr and today we are with Evangelos from Drawlab. Hi!
Hello. Hi, nice to see you.
Likewise, we just saw each other on the other side of the booth.
But it's nice to see you from this side. The perspective is totally different.
So we are there with a game that has very different perspectives, which is fired up, and we're in for some battle, right?
Exactly. The game is based in the future. It's a cyberpunk arena game, but the twist is that we are not actually fighting in the game. We're not the fighters, we are the audience. So we have visited the arena, we are seeing the fighters attack each other, and we are trying to have a good time. And the player who wins is the player who manages to see a lot of cool things that he wants to see. So in the game we're going to have like some highlights that we want to see, and every round I'm going to choose from a hand of highlights that I have which of them I really want them to see happening this round. So after I see my cards, I will decide which of the two I believe are going to happen, and then I'm going to use my action dice in order to influence any of the fighters that I want to make it happen for me. Now, because we are not the actual fighters or even their coaches, we cannot just tell them what to do. We just loudly yell at them, hoping that they will listen. And how this works in the game is that we roll our action dice and we can place them on one of the fighters, and they will affect their stats in a particular way. For example, I can ask somebody to run faster, so they will change their speed for the round. So maybe this guy will now attack third instead of fourth. I can cheer him up so that his stats can also increase higher. I can change him to attack harder or defend harder, so that can also increase his stats. I can even boo him if I don't want him to do well, because maybe I have played a card that I want somebody to getting a lot of damage, so maybe I want this guy to get a lot of damage. I can even bet on the outcome. Maybe I believe that this guy is going to win, so I'm going to take my betting cards and I will place them in the guy I believe is going to win or is going to die. And everybody's trying to do this in the round, and every round you're going to have more dice that you can roll and influence somebody else. So the trick in the game is that every time you play, you can use as many dice as you want, but in a particular fighter, and every time you do that, his influence drops. If somebody's influence goes down to 0, we place this here, and we cannot influence them for the remaining of the round. When everybody has been completely influenced, or when everybody has used all their action dice, the fight occurs. So every fighter is going to attack whoever they're looking at the moment. Maybe they have changed, maybe they're still at the same ones. So we're going to use the fighting dice. So maybe, yeah, thanks. So maybe this guy attacks with an attack of 4, and he attacks on the head, on the feet, a special attack, and maybe some blanks. And the defender maybe have 2 dice. These are blanks who have thank you. So let's say that he managed to roll the head. So that would mean that he managed to block one of the attacks, but he receives damage for the other 2. So if somebody's life goes to 0, he's out for the game. And that's pretty much fired up in a nutshell.
And the game ends after 3 rounds, right?
After 4 rounds, actually. So we can bet on the outcome from the very first round, but the earlier we bet, the more points we're going to get. And of course, the other way to get points is from the results of each battle, from the highlight cards that we play.
Okay, so when does it come out?
So right now we are making the final touches in development. The game is pretty much ready, but we are working on a couple of expansions and also in the wording of the cards. We plan to have the game ready by the spring, so around March or April, so that the backers can have it in time.
So this was a Kickstarter game, but do you think it will hit retail at some point? And will it be in French?
At the moment, we don't know if we're going to have it available in any other language, because we're heavily focusing on developing the English version, but we're open to hear suggestions. The game is going to hit retail, but after the backers have received it and have played it a lot, so we usually try to give at least a month for the backers to play the games first. But yes, we're going to have the game available on stores.
Okay, thank you, Vangelos, for that overview of Fired Up, and see you on the Dogs of the Fire. Bye bye.
Ça galope, ça s'accorde, ça shot, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, western, ça galope, ça poulie d'op, east block, west block, a block, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, ça galope, ça s'accorde, ça shot, non-stop, ça galope, ça s'accorde, western, ça galope,